Hi, You Can Heal family. Tonight is Talk and Time. We're reading Melody Beattie's book, Not You Can Heal. Oh my God, that's my book. We're reading Melody Beattie's book, Codependent No More. And we're starting chapter 2 tonight. We're not going to finish it. It's a pretty long chapter. So we're going to read about half of it or until I just feel too sleepy to go on. So my name is Shena Major. I'm a life coach, and we're using these books to help us heal and relate to some stories about codependency tonight. So hopefully you are up for that, and we're going to get going. If you haven't listened to the preface and the introduction, you can go back and watch those videos in chapter 1. Tonight, we're going to be continuing with some other stories of codependence and hearing what they have to say. This book's a little bit heavy, so if you find yourself after listening to the chapter feeling like you need some more support, make sure you reach out to your counselor or therapist, or you can either schedule a complimentary coaching call with me. All right, so here we go. Codependent No More by Melody Beattie, Chapter 2, Other Stories. When I say I'm codependent, I don't mean I'm a little bit codependent. I mean I'm really codependent. I don't marry men who stop for a few beers after work. I marry men who won't work. Ellen, an Al-Anon member, wrote that. Maybe you identified with Jessica in the last chapter. Her story is an extreme example of codependency, but it is one I hear frequently. However, Jessica's experience is not the only type of codependency. There are many variations of that story, as there are codependents to tell them. Here are a few. All right, here we go. Gerald, a handsome and personable man in his early 40s, calls himself a success in business but a failure in relationships with women. During high school and college, Gerald dated many women. He was popular and considered a good catch. However, after graduation, Gerald stunned his family and friends when he married Rita. Rita treated Gerald worse than any other woman he had ever dated. She acted cool and hostile toward Gerald and his friends, shared few interests with him, and didn't seem to care much for or about Gerald. 13 years later, the marriage ended in divorce when Gerald discovered some things he had suspected for years were true. That doesn't make sense. When Gerald discovered some things he had suspected for years were true. Rita had been dating other men since they were married, and she was and had been for some time abusing alcohol and other drugs. Gerald was devastated, but after mourning for about 2 months, he fell wildly in love with another woman who was a start in the morning and drink till she passes out alcoholic. After spending several months worrying about her, trying to help her, trying to figure out what he was doing that caused her to drink, trying to control her drinking, and ultimately getting angry with her because she wouldn't stop drinking, Gerald terminated the relationship. Soon he met another woman, fell in love with her, and moved into her apartment. Within months, Gerald suspected she too was chemically dependent. Hi, Lisa. Soon, Gerald began spending much of this time worrying about his girlfriend. He checked up on her, rummaged through her purse looking for pills or other evidence, and questioned her about her activities. Sometimes he simply denied she had a problem. During those times, he kept busy, tried to enjoy his time with his girlfriend, although he said he felt uneasy. And he told himself, it's just me. Something's wrong with me. During one of my crises in his most recent relationship, during one of many crises in his most Okay, let me try that again. Oh my goodness. During one of many crises in his most recent relationship, when Gerald was temporarily jolted out of denial, he went to a chemical dependency counselor for advice. I know I should end the relationship, Gerald said, but I'm just not ready to let it go. We can talk about anything and everything together. We're such good friends and I love her. Why? Why does this always happen to me? Lisa, let me tell you, I was knocked out sleep and I woke up at like 20 to 10 and I said, oh, last night I told the people I was going live again and I had to keep my word. So I'm like sleepy to the max right now. But I'm like, oh my God, I said I was going to read again. So that's why I'm here reading again. But yeah, I'm sleepy. I'm really sleepy. Since you asked. That's the truth. That's the truth. All right. So, yeah, he went to the counselor. Why does this always happen to me? And this is interesting because he married the woman, he met the other woman, now this woman. And when when you're not healed, you do keep picking the same type of people over and over again. All right, give me a room full of women and I'll fall in love with the one with the most problems, the one that will treat me the worst. Frankly, they're more of a challenge, Gerald confided. If a woman treats me too well, it turns me off. See, that's the thing. We have to find something to do. We have to find a partner or a relationship where we can fix something because then we can avoid ourselves. If I'm focused on the other person, I can avoid myself. Gerald considered himself a social drinker who had never had problems as a result of his drinking. Gerald told the counselor he had never used drugs, and Gerald's brother, now in his late 40s, had been an alcoholic since he was a teenager. Gerald denied either of his deceased parents was an alcoholic, but reluctantly admitted his dad may have drunk too much. And this reminds me of what I learned going through my journey that we keep picking the same people over because we're trying to right wrongs. We're trying to fix what we experienced in childhood. So we keep going back to the same type of person to try to rewrite the wrongs that were done to us. I know that's what I did. So I kept picking like people that, would eventually abandon me. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's a real thing. We keep picking the same type of people who hurt us over and over. The counselor suggested the alcoholism and excessive drinking in Gerald's immediate family may still be affecting him and his relationships. How could their problems be affecting me? He asked. Dad has been dead for years, and I rarely see my brother. After a few counseling sessions, Gerald began to label himself codependent, but he wasn't sure exactly what that meant or what to do about it. When Gerald became less angry about the immediate problem in his relationship, he discontinued counseling. Gerald decided his girlfriend's problem with drugs weren't that bad. He became convinced his problem with women were due to bad luck. He said he hoped his luck would change someday. Is Gerald's problem bad luck or is it codependence? It's hard. It's so hard to admit you are codependent because you're like thinking you're doing everything right. You're thinking you're being supportive, you're being helpful, you're such a caring person. So how could that be bad, right? To be helpful and a caring person. Now there's another story here, and it's about Patty. Patty was in her mid-30s and had married for 11 years when she sought help from a private therapist. She had 3 children, the youngest of whom had cerebral palsy. Patty had devoted her life to being a good wife and mother. She told her therapist she loved her children, didn't regret her decision to stay home and raise them, but hated her daily routine. Before her marriage, she had many friends and hobbies, worked as a nurse, and was interested in the world around her. However, in the years following the birth of her children, particularly her handicapped child, she had lost her enthusiasm for life. She had few friends and gained over 80 pounds, didn't know what she was feeling, and if she did, felt guilty for feeling that way. She explained she had tried to stay active by helping her friends and doing volunteer work for various organizations, but her efforts usually resulted in feelings of ineffectiveness and resentment. The thought about returning to work, she thought about returning to work, but she didn't because all I know is nursing and I'm sick of taking care of people. Yeah, I've said that before. I'm so tired of taking care of everybody. So tired of that. You said these women are young. Yeah, the first story was a man, but he kept, he had three different women that he came in contact with that were alcoholics. My family and friends think I'm a tower of strength. Good old dependent Patty. Always there, always in control, always ready to help them. The truth is, Patty said, I'm falling apart, very quietly but very certainly. I've been depressed for years. I can't shake it. I cry at the drop of a hat. I don't have any energy. I scream at the kids all the time. I don't have any interest in sex, at least not with my husband. I feel guilty all the time about everything. I even feel guilty about coming to see you, she told the counselor. I should be able to solve my own problems. I should be able to just snap out of this. It's ridiculous to waste your time and my husband's money for my problems. Problems I'm probably imagining and blowing way out of proportion. But I had to do something, Patty confessed. Lately, I've been thinking about suicide. Of course, she added, I would never actually kill myself. Too many people needed me. Too many people depend on me. I'd be letting them down, but I'm worried, I'm scared. Yeah, oh my. The counselor learned Patty and her husband had children, the youngest with cerebral palsy. Patty also said before their marriage, her husband had problems with alcohol. During their marriage, he had drunk less, had held the same job, and had been a good provider. But upon questioning, Patty told the counselor her husband had not attended Alcohol Anonymous meetings or any other support group. Instead, he went on the wagon for months between weekend drinking binges. When he drank, he acted crazy. When he wasn't drinking, he was angry and hostile. I don't know what's happened to him. He's not the man I married. What's even more frightening is I don't know what's happening to me or who I am, Patty said. It's difficult to explain exactly what the problem is. I don't understand it myself. There's no major problem I can point to say that's what's wrong, but it feels like I've lost myself. At times I wonder if I'm going crazy. What's wrong with me, Patty asked. Maybe your husband is an alcoholic and your problems are caused by the family disease of alcoholism, the counselor suggested. How could that be? Patty asked. My husband doesn't drink that often. The counselor dug into Patty's background. Patty talked with fondness about her parents and her two adult brothers. She came from a good family that was close and successful. The counselor dug deeper. Patty mentioned her father had attended Alcohol Anonymous since she was a teenager. Dad sobered up when I was in high school, she said. I really love him and I'm proud of him, but his drinking years were some pretty crazy years for our family. Not only was Patty married to someone who was probably an alcoholic, she is what is now called an adult child of an alcoholic. The entire family had been affected by the family disease of alcoholism. The entire family, I just read that. Her dad stopped drinking. Her mother went to Al Anon. Family life improved. But Patty, too, had been affected. Was she expected to magically overcome the way she had been affected just because the drinking stopped? And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is like as a child, all the things you hear and see, it it affects it affects us so much. So in adulthood, subconsciously, you pick a person who is a dry alcoholic or who only drinks on the weekend because you're so programmed that way, and it's so subtle. Instead of additional counseling sessions, Patty's counselor referred Patty to a self-esteem course and an assertiveness class. The counselor also recommended Patty attend Al-Anon meetings or adult children of alcoholic meetings, which are self-help groups based on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. Patty followed the counselor's advice. She didn't find an overnight cure, but as the months passed, she found herself making decisions with greater ease, feeling and expressing her feelings, saying what she thought, paying attention to her needs, and feeling less guilty. She became more tolerant of herself and her daily routine. Gradually, her depression lifted. She cried less and laughed more. Her energy and enthusiasm for life returned. Incidentally, with no prodding from Patty, her husband joined Alcohol Anonymous. He became less hostile and their marriage began to improve. The point here is Patty gained control of her life. Her life started working. Now, if you ask Patty what her problem is or was, she will answer, I'm codependent. So it took her a while, but she got some help. The next section here says clients who seek help from mental health and chemical dependency agencies are not the only people who suffer from codependency. Randall was a chemical dependency. Oh my gosh. How many syllables did I just use in that word? Oh my gosh. Randall was a chemical dependency counselor and a recovering alcoholic with several years of sobriety when he found himself having troubles. Randall was also an adult child of an alcoholic. His father and 3 brothers were alcoholics. An intelligent, sensitive man who enjoyed his work, Randall's problem was his leisure time. He spent most of it worrying about, obsessed with, other people and their problems. Sometimes he tried to untangle messes alcoholics created. Other times he felt angry with the alcoholics for creating the messes he felt obligated to clean up. Sometimes he felt upset because people, not necessarily alcoholics, behaved in particular ways. He ranted, felt guilty, sorry, and used by people. Rarely, however, did he feel close to them. Rarely did he have fun. And I underlined, sometimes he tried to untangle messes that the alcoholic created or felt angry with the alcoholic that created the mess and obligated to clean it up. And I felt like that for so long. Like it just became this duty, like I had to fix this. I had to fix the problem that they had with the substance abuse. So exhausting. Even just reading this, it's like, oh, so exhausting. For many years, Randall, okay, did I read that? He believed his duty was to worry about people and get involved in their problems. He called his behavior kindness, concern, love, and sometimes righteous indignation. Now, after getting help for his problem, he calls it codependency. And that's what I had to realize. I was so loving and I was so concerning and, just being so holy. No, you were avoiding what was really going on. But we come up with these wonderful terms for what we're doing, and we're just really hurting ourselves. Trying to fix people, is that a sign of low self esteem? Well, I think it's a sign of not us not knowing who we are and us not loving ourselves enough to want to put ourselves before the person we're trying to fix. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't want to call it, I wouldn't call it low self-esteem. I'm trying to relate your question to my life. And I really didn't have any esteem to be low because I didn't have any love for myself. So I wasn't able to take care of myself. It was just easier to help someone else because that made me feel like I was a loving person or a good person because I felt so bad about who I was. So is trying to fix people a sign of low self-esteem? It's a lack of awareness. It's a lack of who we are. You know, it's a lack of like avoiding what we experienced in our childhood. So we go for people who have problems to make ourselves feel better. Because if I can fix them, then I don't have to focus on what really happened, like what I really dealt with when I was younger. Okay, she said that's good. Okay. So I think I'm going to read the next story and then I'm going to stop there. I feel a little bit dizzy. I think because I jumped up so quick out of a sound sleep. Like when you're sleeping and you don't have an alarm set, but like I missed something and you wake up and you're kind of like discombobulated, like, okay, where am I? What day is it? What am I supposed to be doing something? That's kind of how I felt. And I don't even know how long I was sleeping because I have to design a flyer, I have to record a video, and I have to create a whole song sheet that I needed to get to some people for church in the morning. So when I get off of here, I need to do that. And I don't know how long I was sleeping for. But I slept through all that. And right before I got on here, I was getting a call from the person. No, I'm not signing tomorrow. I'm not even going to church tomorrow because Blessing has her volleyball banquet is tomorrow morning at 10. And I need to go in early and help set up for that. So I think I lost like a whole few hours. I'm like, oh my gosh, Shena, what's happening? Yeah, but the banquet should be really nice. Last Sunday afternoon, there was about 6 of us moms who were at one parent's house, and we were putting together all the decorations for the banquet and everything. So, yeah, that's what's happening. So let me read this next story, and then I need to get all this stuff done to email to this lady for tomorrow. Sometimes codependent behavior becomes what is this word? Inextricably entangled with being a good wife, mother, husband, brother, or Christian. Now in her 40s, Marilis is an attractive woman when she takes care of herself. Oh my gosh, attractive when she takes care of herself. I'm laughing at that, not at her, but sometimes Lisa, oh, you're putting two and two together. This is why she got her silk press. That's hysterical. Well, we figured this would be a good time to like showcase the silk press for her banquet tomorrow. And then she has club practice like twice a week now. So we'll see how long it lasts. I saw your video on how to work out with the silk press. I need to send that to Blessing so she can, I don't know, tie her hair up for volleyball practice or something. But uh, yeah, yeah. Anyways, I wasn't laughing at this. Am I stuttering? I am so tired. Lisa, what's happening on this live? Oh my gosh, if this is your first time and you saw the title and you're familiar with Melanie Beattie and you're just meeting me for the first time, listen, you're going to have to take it, okay? When I say I'm going to do something, I could not just like jap out on this live. I could have just like not do it. I would have felt so bad. And I'm thinking, and then I said, Sheena, just type in the community post, like you're not going live. And then I was like, Sheena, no one probably even remembered you said you were going to do that. But it's integrity. And this is a life lesson. When you say you're going to do something and follow through, you need to really do that, or don't make any announcements. And that's what I reminded myself. Don't because you don't know how you're going to feel the next day. You really don't know. And that's for me, anyways. Oh, I remembered. Like, yeah, see, there's people. And then so I had this whole conversation. I had to, I had to say to myself, Sheena, this is not about you. You're serving the Lord. And you told someone who might really need this information that you were going to show up. So it's not about how you feel right now. You can push through that. It's about keeping your word and helping and serving someone else. So yeah, that's why I'm here. Making a lot of mistakes reading, but I'm here. Now let me start over with this last story. She has the eyes I was checking. That's cute. That's good. I like the company. And hi to there's a couple other people watching. So hi, thanks for joining us. Sometimes codependent behavior becomes inextricably entangled with being a good wife, mother, husband, brother, or Christian. Now in her 40s, Marilis is an attractive woman when she takes care of herself. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. Did you notice it says she was attractive when she takes care of herself? When you're like so deep in codependency, sometimes you could like wear the same clothes for a couple days. You could not shower for a few days. You just sometimes cannot pull it together. You cannot get out of bed. Sometimes it becomes a whole thing. And like to just get up and comb your hair or brush your teeth is progress. It can really be progress for some people. Most of the time, however, she's busy taking care of her 5 children and her husband, who is a recovering alcoholic. She devoted her life to making them happy, but she didn't succeed. Usually, she feels angry and unappreciated for her efforts, and her family feels angry at her. She has sex with her husband whenever he wants, regardless of how she feels. Now, this one I can say, I used to play that game. And then one day I woke up and I was like, I am not doing that. I was like, no. Like, I became very good at like, you're running me through the mud and then you want to do that? Absolutely not. And I don't think the man knew what hit him. I really don't, because I was always like readily available. No, no, no. I'm not doing that. Absolutely not doing that. And then it was funny. I think we were reading yesterday, like, you get the lady was talking about she would act like she was, all the way over on the other side of the bed, like being really still and like not moving. Like I played all these games and finally I was just like, no. And that was that. And it felt really good when I realized like, I don't have to do this because that is something you want to do. It's very empowering for me. So if there's anyone listening who can relate to that or who is in that situation, just say no. And you don't have to give a reason. You just do not. This is your body, and you do not have to give it away if you do not want to do that. Amen? All right. So where am I? Let's just start here. Okay, she said that she spends too much of the family's budget on toys and clothing for the children, whatever they want. She chauffeurs, reads to, cooks for, cleans for, cuddles and coddles those around her. But nobody gives to her. Most of the time, they don't even say thank you. Marilys resents her constant giving to people in her life. She resents how her family and their needs control her life. She chose nursing as her profession, and she often resents that. Now, this is interesting because I've always worked with kids, and then I have the daycare. But there are days when it's so difficult because I've always help people. And the day and the kids, like my preschoolers, when it's time for lunch, I want this, get me more of this, I need that. And I'm just like, hold on. And sometimes I have to remember they're like 3 and 4 years old. But I'm like, you have to say please to me. Like they'll just boss me around. And I tell them now, I'm like, children, you're not going to boss me around. We use our manners, we say please and thank you. And sometimes you have to be patient and wait for something because I'm one person and I can't get 3 drinks at a time. Like these kids, well, yeah, tell them kids, oh yeah, we have to say please and thank you here. You cannot be ordering me around. And so I have to remember, like, okay, they're children and they're just naturally selfish little people. But I have to teach them, like, you have to treat people the right way, right? We do. You just can't assume that you can just talk to people like that, right? We have to even teach the kids when they're little how to treat us, even though their parents are paying me to take care of them. All right. The next paragraph says, but I feel guilty when I don't do what's asked of me. I feel guilty when I don't live up to my standards for a wife and mother. I feel guilty when I don't live up to other people's standards for me. I just plain feel guilty, she said. In fact, she added, I schedule my day, my priorities according to guilt. That is so sad. Oh, gosh, that's so sad. And especially the part about no one ever says thank you. And I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I can relate to that, especially, taking care of kids 9 hours straight all day. No one says thank you. Even sometimes, and I'm not talking bad about the parents, but it's just when you're in a caretaking profession, parents come and get their kids, and a lot of times they don't thank you because they're so caught up in their life. They got to get their kids, they got to pick them up, they got to get home, they got to get to the next thing. But sometimes you're like, wow, it's not fair. If you didn't work with kids, what else would you like to do? Well, Lisa, I was going to be a lawyer, but actually, I still would have been with kids. I would have been a juvenile defense attorney. But actually, what I'm doing, and writing battling, yeah, and starring in action movies. But no, actually, I really just my heart is to continuing to move forward. And I took the first steps with my nonprofit. So I'm really happy about that. But just to work with women and yeah, all those dreams I have that I see are beginning to come to pass. So that's just my heart is people don't have I don't want people to suffer like I did anymore. That's just like that's just like my thing, you know? That's my thing. Yeah, congrats on that. Yeah, I know. I pulled the trigger and I put that first big payment down and I was like, okay, this is good. Hi, Tracy Ann. Tracy Ann, we are about to close out, Tracy Ann, but I'm glad you're here. I am. I am. Um, the last little paragraph in this section says, does endlessly taking care of other people, resenting it, and expecting nothing in return mean Marilys is a good wife and mother? Or could it mean Marilys is codependent? Oh, she's definitely codependent. She's definitely codependent. Because I remember just like, oh my goodness, just trying to like keep everything seeming normal and just the exhaustion that I felt all the time, and like just feeling like this isn't my life, like this isn't happening to me. Like, why do I have to have the husband that can't get his life under control? And I'd resent that and just be bitter. And then I'd go through these feelings of like sadness, like, everybody else has this type of marriage or that type of relationship. And I'm over here surviving, like trying to like keep my sanity. So yeah, you can become very bitter. And that's been part of my healing, like being able to not feel that way. And I've done such a good job at that. And now I can reflect back on things and think about things and really be able to have love in my heart and understand that the person is sick and needed help. But it's a grind, amen. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Tracy Ann, how was your day? I hope you had a good day. I'll rewatch it because it sounds like I missed something big. What is that, an ear? Is that an ear? I don't know. We were just talking about the stories. We read, I think, four little stories of people who um, are codependent, but all their scenarios and situations were different. You're proud of me. I'm proud of who you are. Well, thank you. I'm proud of who I'm becoming. I really am. I had a good call today. I had a coaching call today, and I had to reflect on it because it's so interesting to me that the person said something that I really felt like God like wanted me to hear this, because the person said that, you know, I just had, it was so nice having someone that I can talk to and really share what's really going on. And I thought about that. And as they were talking, I was listening to them, but it was so comforting because I'm like, Lord, you can bring people together who don't know each other and like really form relationships. So what I'm finding with this coaching thing, you're going to be a life coach, you're going to get this certification, but I'm finding like it's relationships that are building, because it just gets to a point where you're like, this is someone's whole life and they're brave enough to tell you about it. And that to me is such a high calling. And I was so proud of the person for sharing and just opening their heart. It just really touched me. It really did. I was like, Lord, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. But it was just a beautiful thing. And the other thing too, because when you think of the person and their age, like someone can go their whole life, and you say you have friends, your best friend or good friends, but the way the person was like, I have someone who really will listen to me and I can be honest. Well, you just met me. Like, I just started working with you, well, it's been about a year now, but it's like, wow, that meant a lot to me. That really meant a lot to me. So I just wanted to let you know that. Lisa said, oh my gosh, yes, that's true. It's hard to trust someone with things that you're hurting over or things you aren't proud of. It is. And I'm really sensitive to it. And when I did the group um, this month, well, now it's December, that first workshop I told you guys about, and there were 8 of us. It was the most healing, beautiful thing. And I was like, this is where I need to be. I need to be in person because I love relating to people, and um, people feeling comfortable enough with me to share their heart. It means the world to me. So I put my proposal in to be able to use that same building at no cost. So I'm waiting to hear back and get the email back. And then we're going to do um, our group workshops, our group sessions once a month for the year. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. So yeah, Tracy, and I was telling Lisa, I gotta go and do all this stuff for church tomorrow that I should have done, but I slept and I woke up. I was saying I woke up like discombobulated like 20 minutes to 10, and I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to go live at 10. I announced that I was, and I slept through all this. So now I gotta, what did Lisa say the other day? Burn the midnight oil. I hadn't heard that. I gotta burn the midnight oil and get this stuff done for these people. And Lisa said, oh, that's good, Coach. Yeah, well, God is good. My God is good. And He's showing me every day. Just be yourself. Just everything I tell you, just trust me. I can make it happen. Just one day at a time, one thing at a time, and everything will be okay. You know? Yeah, you push on through. We have to. We have to keep pushing through. Even when, like, I don't know, sometimes I'm like, you think you can doubt yourself, like, is this worth it? Is this really what you're saying, Lord? Is this really going to come to pass? But the more steps you take, the clearer things get. And He's showing me that. And I don't have to do things like anybody else because I'm not anybody else. I'm just me, you know? And that's good. Like, to be able to just be yourself. It's comfortable. Yeah. So I think you guys too, I'm more comfortable doing lives and making videos. I don't think I sat down and just recorded a video. I don't know what it is about that. I'm still trying to figure that I'm still trying to figure that out. I think it has to do with like how much I like working with women in person, and I just like the connection. So being live is different, and just being able, even though it's a chat, just knowing there's someone on the other side of that little dot right there. Hello. So that's good because I just feel like when you're live, you just, how can you like fake yourself? Like, it's like impossible. Yeah, I crack myself up, Lisa smiles. I do. I don't know why. I crack myself up. You said I like lives too because of the interaction. Yeah, it's nice. It really is. And the relationships. And just like I thought about when I got off the phone last night with you all, I really felt connected. I'm like, this is more than just like a, a YouTube channel for me. It really is. I just really want relationships to form. And I said yesterday, go ahead and get that free complimentary coaching call. Like, why not? Like, let the day come where you're going to have to decide, I'm going to trust someone. I'm going to trust someone with my life, and share things that hurt me or that have hurt me or bothered me, and grow, from our past experiences, and do that together. Oh, yeah, online dating. Tony, gosh, it's so funny. Oh yeah, we're in deep now. There's like no turning back. There's no turning back now. There's no turning back now. And Tracy, I even chuckled after we hung up because we're trying to go to North Carolina to get our hair done. And Lisa's talking about having like, I don't know, a whole girls thing. So I think we might have to have two separate trips. Like, we'll have to like just go visit Lisa for an official appointment. And then like we can go back and cut up. I don't know. We'll have to figure that. Or we're gonna have to get like a $500 or $1,000 hairdo so she can do all our hair. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, slam out. That is so funny. I find myself saying that now. The blessing, slam out. Oh my, did you make that up like that? So funny to me. Right, we're trying to wear this a slam out. That's hilarious. Ah, that's so funny. So funny. All right, ladies, I gotta go. I gotta get this thing done. I gotta make this, create this flyer. I've got to record this video announcement live. Oh my goodness. And I have to what is the third thing? Oh, we're making these like scrolls because I'm on the events committee at church and we're doing this event for Christmas. And yeah, I'm doing all this stuff in Canva. So now I need to go do that. That must be a North Kakalaki thing. Yeah, slam out. Yeah, it has to be. Hey, Lisa, are you anywhere near Greensboro, North Carolina? Because when I was in college, we played volleyball. Um, we played at, oh God, I don't know the name of the school, but I had a friend who lived in North Carolina. So I've been to Greensboro. Is that anywhere near you? I don't know why I'm thinking of that, but when she said a North Carolina thing. Oh, it's an hour away. So just think of that. I was that close to you. A&T. It wasn't A&T. It was I don't know. I don't know the name of the school. Oh my goodness. I know they were all. It was an HSBCU. I don't remember. But anyways, I had a friend who lived in Greensboro, so I would go home with her sometimes for Thanksgiving, or just for the weekend or whatever. So yeah. All right. So now I have a little bit of an idea more where you are. All right, ladies, that's our talk-in time tonight. Thank you all for joining me and the others who came on the live but weren't in the chat. That's okay. One day you're going to show up in there. You're going to get comfortable enough to be like, hey, I really want to be a part of this and get the jokes and the laughter. I'm coming to New York and Cali. Okay, Lisa smiles. You come on. Now, I'm not, people say I'm not really in because I'm so upstate. I'm like 3 hours from Canada. So I'm upstate New York. So you're not going to be in like New York City if you come here. I'm going to rewatch while I finish twisting my hair. Okay, Tracy Ann. Gosh, I hope I didn't sound too sleepy and tired in the beginning. Well, you know what I'm going to say. You're going to have to take it, right? Just listen to the words. Will fly out. Yeah. Okay. I will see you guys soon, soon, soon. I hope everybody finished their growth work. I just finished mine earlier this afternoon, that last one, and I still have some shopping to do. But yeah, that's that. Okay. I love you. I love you, love you, love you, love you. And we will talk soon. Always remember that true healing begins with self-love. Why? Because God is love, and He most certainly lives on the inside of you. Good night. Okay, Tracy Ann says she's still doing her growth work. Yeah, thank you for honoring your word. You're welcome. You're welcome. God has been too good to me for me not to. I got that healthy fear of the Lord. Lisa smiles. I am not trying to play with my Lord. Nope, not doing that. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Oh, is this thing open here?